Hello guys, Kid 1960 here with my long ago promised video of my 5.1 channel surround sound system located up on my 3rd floor. Took me a while, didn't it? Well, thanks for your patience. And before I get to the system, let me talk about the room. First, I'm going to give you a bit of a wide shot. This is the house is A-frame style, so the back wall is actually the roof line, which extends up past the rafters, up to the ceiling fan, up to the peak. It's a funky room. It comes down the other side. And then there's a little balcony outside there with a good view of the whole Las Vegas Valley. This room used to be a bedroom, but I switched the bedroom downstairs when my dog, who has since passed, see my avatar. Yeah, but it got to the point where she could not climb the stairs the whole way to the 3rd floor bedroom anymore, so I moved my bedroom downstairs one story and brought the surround sound up here. I used to have my surround sound and 2-channel joined together, so when I brought this stuff up here, I had to add a couple pieces to make it a completely separate system. Anyway, well, let's get right to the gear then, shall we? First, for 2-channel sources, I have a Marantz SA-11S2. This doesn't get that much use these days, but once in a while I fire it up and give it a spin. Good sounding little unit. I've had it for a few years now. And below it is a Torus RM Isolation transformer. All the gear in my surround sound system, including the TV, gets its power from this. The Torus and the Marantz are both sitting on a Lovan rack, 2 sections of a Lovan rack. And then next to them on a Stillpoints rack, which I picked up as a demo unit, we have the meat of the system. Starting with at the top, an Oppo BDP-105D. All digital conversions for surround sound are done in this machine. And then sent via analog via these Shunyata Research e-tron series cables, Cobras. The Oppo sends the signal down to my trusty old Bryston SP2 surround processor, working in analog mode only. I bought this back in 2006. It was a demo unit. Great sounding preamp, but unfortunately, with Blu-rays and now HKs, the digital soundtracks to movies have moved on beyond what this thing can do. So the Oppo does the conversions, and then this does the routing and the volume setting and all that stuff. Distance setting for the speakers and crossovers are set via the Oppo. Sent to the Bryston, which then passes the signal on to 2 Proceed amp series power amplifiers. The amp 2 on the bottom for the left and right channel duties, and the amp 3 on the top for the center and surrounds. Mark Levinson made the Proceed series amplifiers. They also there was also an HPA series of Proceed. Those were bigger, more powerful amplifiers, and they had different encasements. But these are good, solid amps. Mark Levinson doesn't make this line anymore, but you can find these on Audiogon, and they're good amps. Anyone out there looking for a solid, a used solid-state amp that sounds good, I recommend both the amp series and the HPA series from Proceed, if you can find them. I've had that stereo channel, 2-channel amp 2 for 20 years now. Hasn't failed me yet. Okay. The speakers, we have a set of Magico S1s. The first versions, I picked these up as used units from the music room in Colorado. And the center channel speaker, of course, is a Magico Q1, which I picked up from Scott Walker Audio. Now, you may be asking yourselves, doesn't Magico make a center channel speaker? Well, yes, they do. They make several, actually. Thing is, when I started tallying up the numbers, it turned out that buying one Magico Q1 without its dedicated stand was cheaper than buying one of Magico's dedicated center channel speakers. So that's what I went with. And I also kind of had it in the back of my head that maybe sometime down the road I might luck out and find a used set of Q1s which could then be put into the left and right front channels, and I can move the S1s to surround. But if that doesn't happen, that's okay. And the stand this does sit on is from Core, C-O-R-E, Core. Next to that, we have my latest, most recent audio purchase, an SVS SB3000 subwoofer. This is replacing a Velodyne DD12. And as good as that Velodyne was, this thing is even better. I'm getting some low frequencies from this sub that I wasn't even getting from that DD12, and it was no slacker. And at the price point, this is incredible. These SVS subs are something. I've got no complaints with this thing. And it sits on a Subdude platform. Okay. And then behind this stuff, we have a Panamax power conditioner. This is daisy-chained with the Torus. Over there. The subwoofer and my Samsung Plasma TV are plugged into the Panamax. And since we're in the neighborhood, speaker cables, Shunyata Research, e-tron series, Cobras. And then the TV is the last of the Samsung Plasmas. I haven't made the jump to 4K or OLED yet. I've got no complaint with the picture I'm getting from this TV. Some people say OLED has caught up with Plasma. Some say not quite. I don't know what to think, so I'm holding off. I'm happy with what I get with this thing. And it sits on a shelving unit I picked up from the Container Store. And then for surround sound, I have a pair of Paradigm Signature S2s. I also picked these up as demo units. Originally, I had them as the left and right channel speakers in a small little 2-channel system I had on my ground floor, but they never really worked well down there. I think the S2s, at least this pair, really need a subwoofer to balance them out. And they probably need a bit more distance to the listening position too. But they ended up here in surround mode, and they're working great in this function. And they're sitting on a pair of stands that I picked up at the Guitar Center. I can't recall the brand name, guys. I'm sorry. But take a look if you're curious. I'm sure they probably still sell them. Swing around to the rest of the room. And this brings us to the listening chair. Whenever my sister-in-law visits, she makes fun of me. And she asks me, how can you put as much into your sound system as you have and then be listening in that rinky-dink cheap chair? And I guess she has a point. And you're probably thinking she has a point also. What can I say? A man's got to have his priorities. Someday I'll replace it, but it's working fine just now, and I guess I'm just not that fussy. But yeah, that is kind of ridiculous, isn't it? Now that I'm looking at it, oh my God. Oy vey. Anyway, Okay, let's take in the artwork here. These are lithographs. I found these secondhand also, and they came with the frames they were in. So funky frames and all. I like this old artwork from the I guess this would be the 30s, 40s. But here we have Frankenstein's monster. And oh, for those of you who are curious for the view, that is the Las Vegas Strip out in the distance. We had some rain yesterday, so it's pretty clear out there now. The smog is gone for now. Okay. Back to the artwork, where we have Murders in the Rue Morgue. And off to its right, my left, we have The Invisible Man. That one's really good. I really like this artwork. Oh, and Blu-rays. Here, I'll give you a shot of the Blu-rays. Those you're curious about my titles I have. These are primarily movies. And then we have DVDs also, which are movies and concerts. I've had this spinning unit for, oh God, a couple decades now. It was a gift from my sister and my brother-in-law. And then there's more storage here in this closet. Mostly Blu-rays, some DVDs too. It's a lot of TV shows, some movies. Babylon 5. I would love to get Babylon 5 on Blu-ray, but I don't ever see that happening. They'd have to reshoot all of those special effects. That show just happened at an odd time with the computer technology. And then we have one more piece of artwork in the room, which is Dracula. And then the first thing you see when you're coming up the stairs from the second floor is this piece of art here. Coming up the steps, you get a dose of Mr. Karloff. This is a really good one too. Up the steps from the second floor into the funky little room for some surround sound. When the surround sound gets going in this room, it's like you're in an acoustic bubble, and I have to wonder how much the roof adds to that. Anyway. Okay, guys, that's about it. I don't think I've forgotten anything. Thank you for your patience. Thanks for putting up with my stumbling over my own speaking. And you all have a nice day.